Hey, Core Chemistry, Mrs. KJ here, going over part 2 of lesson 5.05, types of reactions 2. Oxidation reaction is reversed. The resulting reaction is called a reduction reaction. So we talked about that a little bit in the other slide, which in some cases you can do, and in other cases you can't. Rusting is the oxidation of iron. Originally, the term oxidation reduction reaction was used only for reactions that involve the gain or loss of oxygen atoms. A new, more inclusive definition centers on the electrons in the reactions. Today, we refer to reduction as the process in which a substance gains electrons. So the process in which a substance either loses oxygen, it's the old definition, but we still use it sometimes, or more comprehensively, gains electrons during a chemical reaction. So if you're thinking for a second, wait, if I gained electrons, why is it called a reduction? Well, if you gain electrons, what happens to your charge? So if I gain 2 electrons, my charge is -2, and my overall charge was reduced or became negative. So that's why. Oxidation is the process in which a substance loses electrons. So again, add it to your notes. The process in which a substance gains oxygen, or more comprehensively, loses electrons during a chemical reaction. Oxidation is the process in which a substance loses electrons. In the reaction below, iron on the left, in the form of iron plus 3, gains electrons to become metallic iron, Fe, on the right. It is reduced. It's reduced because now it is neutral. The charge went from +3. It gained how many electrons? 3. And now it has a charge of 0. In the reverse reaction, metallic iron loses electrons to become iron oxide. The iron is said to become oxidized. Oxidation reduction reactions are also called redox because basically it's abbreviated. Reduction, oxidation, redox. Redox is a term that is used as shorthand for oxidation reduction reactions. Keep in mind that oxidation reactions and reduction reactions are essentially the reverse of each other. Look at the examples below, which use the oxygen definition of an oxidation reduction reaction. So in this reaction, carbon gained oxygen, so it was oxidized. Iron lost oxygen, so it was reduced. So let's look over here, or you can look here for the balanced one, but here we see it pictorially. So we have our iron 3 oxide plus 3 carbon monoxides yields 3 carbon dioxides. So the carbon gained more oxygen, and so it was oxidized. The iron went from having oxygen to being by itself, so it was reduced. In this reaction, so here we have 2 magnesium oxides, yields magnesium plus oxygen. The oxygen gained more oxygen, which is another way to say that the magnesium lost it. So magnesium lost the oxygen and became a pure metal. Therefore, it was reduced. It reduced how much oxygen it had on it. So up here in this one, again, they really focused on that you could see both of them. In this one, you could just see one part of the oxidation reduction. So sometimes it's both the redox, sometimes you only really see the one in a more obvious light. There are several types of chemical reactions. You learned about 3 different types of chemical reactions in this lesson: single displacement reactions, double displacement reactions, and oxidation reduction reactions. Single displacement reactions have the following general form: AX plus B yields A plus BX. So remember, you're switching one single partner. Make sure you always write which one first, the anion or cation. The cation is always first. Double displacement reactions have this form: AX plus BY yields AY plus BX. Again, making sure you always have positive ions written before negative ones. Oxidation reduction reactions occur when one of the reactant atoms gains electrons and one of the reactant atoms loses electrons, or you can think about it in terms of oxygen in some cases as well. So make sure you know both those definitions. So again, chemical reactions, one element is displaced in a single displacement, 2 elements are displaced in a double displacement. If we're talking about elements gaining and losing electrons, you gain electrons, which reduces the charge because it's more negative, so it's called a reduction. You lose electrons, you become more positive, and therefore it is an oxidation. And again, you can use the other definition. If you gain oxygen, it's oxidation. If you lose the oxygen, the amount of oxygen has been reduced, it's a reduction. All right, make sure you check over your notes, and when you're ready, go ahead and take your quiz.